What's for dinner? At my house tonight, we are doing crazy crust pizza. This is a throwback from when I was a little kid in 4-H. Um, and I remembered it a little different, but I kind of found some recipes that were pretty similar. This is a pourable crust. So if you don't have time for the yeast to rise, you don't want to run to the store and grab crust there. You're just gonna, this is super simple. You don't have to wait on anything. You just mix it, pour it, and you're ready to go. So I have 2 beaten eggs already in my um, bowl. This is just 1 cup of flour, 2/3 of a cup of milk, and this is a teaspoon each of Italian seasoning salt and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm just going to stir all this together. And what I remember doing, I thought we cooked it all on the stovetop. So maybe things have changed, or maybe we were doing it wrong. Who knows? But I thought we put it on the stovetop the whole time. The recipes I'm finding now, you bake them in the oven, which is just as easy. So your crust is going to be pourable. It's not thick. You're not going to have to, and you're not going to have to waste a bunch of time spreading it out and hoping it stays. And so this is a super simple way to make a quick and easy pizza. So I've got my, I'm going to just do Dutch iron. I've had it in the or cast iron, sorry. I've had it in the oven a little bit so it'll brown the bottom. If you want them a little more crispy, you can preheat your pan a little bit, and I've done that. So you just pour it in. And this is already, this pan's already been seasoned, so make sure you grease your pan if you haven't. If you don't have a seasoned pan or you're not using cast iron, make sure you put whatever oil on it you want to so it doesn't stick. So you're just going to spread this out as even as possible. And on the first round of baking, we're going to put the toppings on. So whatever toppings your family likes. Oops. And we're pretty plain here. We're kind of a pepperoni, olive, peppers. So whatever, as much toppings minus the cheese. The cheese and the sauce are going to go on after the first bake. But I've got my oven preheated at 425. It's all ready for this. I'll just quickly sprinkle some olives and peppers on here. Okay, toppings are on. 425. This is going to bake for 25, 30 minutes. Okay, I called it at 20 minutes. I think it's getting pretty crispy brown. For some reason, it went up the side of my pan a little bit, but it's looking pretty good in there. So now it's just sauce and cheese. And you can make your own sauce. I have made my own sauce. I kind of shortcutted it and just took a jar of spaghetti sauce out of the pantry, and I jazzed it up a little bit with some garlic salt and some pepper flakes. But whatever sauce you like on your pizza. I was keeping the crust easy, so I decided to keep it all easy. So as much or as little sauce and whatever kind of sauce goes on next. And then cheese. And the recipe that I found, well, actually I've looked at several. They say to cook it for another 10, 15 minutes. I am going to shut the oven off and set it back in there just until the cheese melts. I'm just afraid of overcooking stuff. And maybe with the cast iron, it's different. I'm not sure. So I got mozzarella. I'm going to put a little bit of cheddar in there and some Parmesan. And then I'm just going to shut the oven off, and they say 10, 15 minutes on the second bake. So I'm going to check it at about 10 and see if everything's melting up. Let me know if you guys remember that, if you're, maybe you're really young and you don't, but if you're old like me and you made something like this a long time ago, let me know. Like I said, I remember doing it on the stovetop, putting the lid on it to melt everything. And maybe I'll try it that way too. But when I went to look for recipes, this is kind of what I found, but super simple pizza crust. If you ever are in a hurry and feel like pizza and I mean, takeout's getting so expensive. So, easy way to do it. But that's what's for dinner at my house. Let me know what you're having, recipes if you've got them, and I will be back tomorrow with what's for dinner.